Welcome to On the L, where strategy meets accountability and leaders learn what it truly takes to elevate. I'm your host, LaTaye, and I'm a leadership strategist, organizational performance consultant, speaker, founder of Elevate Leadership Partners and the Elevation Lab. And every week we unpack the leadership lessons hidden inside business, culture, sports, and organizational success. Because leadership isn't just about getting results, it's about earning trust. So let's get on the L. Today, I'm super excited to talk about a company that I have so much respect for, and that is The Honest Company. But before we get into the episode, I want to just hope that everyone has had a good start to your week. We're able to navigate those waters, and I hope the rest of your week goes well. Just remember that every Tuesday, I release a new episode that is every Tuesday. And you'll probably notice that I haven't had any guests on yet. And there's a reason for that, but I'll discuss that near the end of the episode. So my challenge to you, grab your notebook and a pen or pencil so that you can take notes and elevate as a leader. Today, we're talking about a company whose name is actually its biggest leadership challenge. Think about it. The Honest Company. When Jessica Alba co-founded The Honest Company, it wasn't just another consumer products company. It was built around one powerful promise: trust. Parents wanted products they believed were safer for their families. Consumers wanted greater transparency. Company's name communicated exactly what customers expected: honesty. But here's the leadership lesson: the bigger your promise, the greater your responsibility to deliver on it. That's true whether you're leading a Fortune 500 company, a nonprofit, government agency, or your own business. Many organizations think branding is a logo, a color palette, a slogan. It's not. Your brand is a promise. When people hear your organization's name, what do they immediately expect? Fast service, innovation, luxury, reliability, integrity. For The Honest Company, the expectation was honesty, transparency, safety. Every decision the company made would eventually be measured up against those expectations. And so the leadership lesson here is people judge your organization against the promises you make, not the intentions. One of the hardest truths about leadership is this: trust compounds slowly, but it can disappear quickly. Organizations spend years building credibility. One mistake, one inconsistent decision, one communication failure can create doubt. That's why accountability matters. Great leaders don't assume trust is permanent. They protect it every single day. One thing I've learned throughout my career is that people can handle difficult news. What they struggle with is uncertainty. Employees want clarity. Customers want honesty. Stakeholders want transparency. Leadership does not mean pretending everything is perfect. Leadership means communicating honestly while taking responsibility. When organizations become defensive, trust declines. When leaders become transparent, trust grows. Many companies have values hanging on the wall: integrity, respect, innovation, excellence. But values aren't demonstrated in meetings. They're demonstrated in decisions. How do you handle complaints? How do you respond when mistakes happen? How do you treat employees? How do you communicate with customers? That's where culture becomes visible. Leadership lesson: your values aren't what you print. They're what you practice. It's easy to lead when everything is going well. Revenue is growing, customers are happy, employees are engaged, but the real test comes when something goes wrong. That's when leadership becomes visible. Do you deny? Do you deflect? Or do you own the problem? Organizations don't build reputations by avoiding challenges. They build reputations by how they respond to them. And this lesson made me think about my own business. Elevate Leadership Partners isn't just a consulting company. It's a promise. When organizations invite me to speak, lead a workshop, or partner on leadership development, they expect thoughtful strategy, professionalism, practical solutions. If I don't consistently deliver that experience, then my brand means nothing. And the same is true for every leader listening today. Whether you're managing a team of 5 or leading an organization of 5,000, people are trusting your leadership every day. The question is, are you protecting that trust? So I have 5 questions that every leader should ask. This is where you need your notebook and your pen or your pencil, friends. What promise does your brand make? Can every employee explain it? Number 2, does your daily behavior reinforce that promise or contradict it? Number 3, how does your organization respond when mistakes happen? With excuses or accountability? Number 4, if your customer described your culture, would it match the culture you think you have? And number 5, what are you doing today to earn tomorrow's trust? Because trust isn't inherited, it's earned repeatedly. So here's the LTAY. Leadership isn't about appearing perfect. It's about being credible. Customers don't expect perfection. Employees don't expect perfection, but they do expect honesty, consistency, and accountability. Your reputation isn't built by the promises you make. It's built by the promises you consistently keep. Thank you for joining me for another episode of On the L. If this episode challenged your thinking, share it with another leader who understands that trust is every organization's most valuable asset. And if your organization is ready to strengthen leadership, improve accountability, and build a culture rooted in trust and performance, connect with Elevate Leadership Partners. Make sure you tune in every first Wednesday of the month for Elevation Lab. It's a live conversation with leaders where we discuss workplace culture, organizational performance, and the challenges that leaders are facing today. Because great leadership isn't about protecting your image. It's about protecting your integrity. And that comes to why I have not had any special guests on the podcast as of yet. It is because I wanted to ensure that I created a solid voice for this podcast before I invited other voices on. I wanted to ensure that you guys all understand who I am, what's important to me, what drives me, what my platforms mean, before I invited someone else into the fold. I'm really excited because I will start reaching out to certain entities, people, companies to have on the podcast. But I want to thank you for just being here in these moments and on these episodes, supporting me as you learn how to elevate yourself, not just as a leader in a business for an employer, but also for yourself and potentially for your own business. I appreciate you guys for that so much. So remember, set the standard, lead with intention, elevate with impact. I'm LaTaye. I'll see you next time on the L.